Hi, I'm Miss Powell. I'm the English teacher at this campus, and I just wanted to share a lesson with you. We have worked on several lessons as we're getting closer to the STAAR test. Our last week's lesson, um, we learned how to revise and edit, and we are getting so close to that STAAR test. We knew that that would be a big part of the STAAR test. We wrote a little couple of paragraphs about what we could do to make this a better place for others. But the most important thing that we looked at last week was revising and editing. And we revised and edited a passage on Black History Month, the Little Rock Nine, and we um, found some interesting history about segregation, about the civil rights movement, but we also saw what would be a big part of that STAR test. And a big part, of course, is the revising and editing. We're going to look at more of the STAR test today, but we are going to stay with what we are so pleased with in the month of February, and that is Black History Month. You can see that my background here, my backdrop, um, is the skylight. Big city skylight. And I chose that because as we look at Black history today, we're going to look at music uh, from Black history, recent music that has made our culture and this music industry so strong. And one young lady who totally revamped Black music, American music, as we look at reading and writing, essay writing, and STAAR, significant detail reading. So let's go ahead. Let me share my screen and my PowerPoint with you. Black History Month, as we look at English. Black History Month. And I think this is a face that we all know. This is the face of Aretha Franklin. African American History Month looks at the Queen of Soul, and there she is, a singer um, whose career expanded over 50 years. So we're going to be able today to identify facts and opinions in a STAAR passage. We will write a persuasive essay. Okay. We're going to do something a little bit different, not working with Pear Deck today. So we're going to use an everyday edit that we can use to proofread and edit just as we did. So rather than having you write down some of the things that you remember from last week's lesson, let's go ahead and do that lesson. And you can see Aretha Franklin in a bright red outfit performing. But, and you will see this if you are a student on campus, you will have the handout. If you are a virtual student, you'll have this edit in the little Google Classroom activity that you're looking at this focused instruction. So let's go ahead. From rap to ragtime, African Americans have made major contributions to the United States music scene. There are 10 errors in this paragraph. I want you to go ahead, either underline or circle the errors, either on your paper or on the template that you have in Google Classroom. And we'll have a little Aretha Franklin music to time us as we work. Okay. Oh, such a strong, rich voice. Okay. Such a strong, rich voice. Yeah, let's look over your little handout or your template, and let's see if we can spot the errors. From rap to, it is not two T-Z-O-O, it's T-O. African American, that's not one word, it's a hyphenated word. Okay, great. Does not need to be capitalized. Month does. Americans does. Have, not has. And we need a comma. What we've got here, Bessie Smith, Louis Armstrong, that's Waller, a series of items. So we need to place commas within the series. And of course, the month of June needs to be capitalized. Okay. Yeah, little history about Aretha Franklin. This last lesson that we do dealing with Black history, certainly I wanted it to be upbeat, and who would be a better representation of positive contributions of Black artists then the Queen of Soul, Aretha. Let's find out something about her history here. She certainly was unique and started singing at a very early age and sang right up to her death. So let's find out something about her.
She is the Queen of Soul. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're taking a look at the life and career of Aretha Franklin.
Sure you haven't got the wrong number. You sure it's me you want to talk to tonight.
Aretha Louise Franklin was born on March 25, 1942 in Memphis, Tennessee. She started singing in church at an early age, which helped get her signed to the gospel division of Checker Records. Her debut album, Songs of Faith, was released in 1956. However, 4 years later, she left the gospel route and signed with Columbia Records. Her first single was the 1960 R&B hit, Today I Sing the Blues.
But today I'm singing the blues.
This was followed by the album Aretha and her first top 40 pop hit, Rockabye Your Baby with a Dixie Melody. In an attempt to capitalize on the artist's love of Dinah Washington, Columbia initially fit Franklin in the realm of jazz, with albums like Laughing on the Outside. However, she later started recording girl group type tracks, such as Mockingbird, instead. Still, success evaded her. So she signed a deal with Atlantic in 1966 and released the bluesy number, I Never Loved a Man the Way I Loved You, the next year.
I tell you that I ain't never
It became a crossover hit, peaking in the top 10 of both the pop and R&B charts. This paved the way for what would become her biggest and most celebrated recording, a gospel-flavored cover of Otis Redding's Respect. The song would later earn Franklin 2 Grammys and become a symbol of the feminist movement. The late 60s turned Franklin into a superstar, with hits such as Think, Chain of Fools, and You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. Her success continued well into the early 70s with the tune Don't Play That Song,
Don't play that song for me.
and her gig at San Francisco's Fillmore West, which was one of the venue's first headlining sets by an African American. More Grammys followed with the release of 1971's Young, Gifted, and Black and 1972's Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace also proved to be the biggest-selling disc of Franklin's career and the best-selling gospel album of all time. Franklin had a couple more R&B hits in the next few years, including Angel, but the rise of disco meant low album sales for Franklin. Her own foray into the disco world, 1979's La Diva,
This is for ladies.
was a commercial failure, so Franklin left Atlantic. Franklin's film debut in 1980's Blues Brothers was followed by a contract with Arista Records. The 1981 album Love All the Hurt Away earned her another Grammy, and her comeback to the pop charts was cemented with the 1982 effort Jump to It. After a short break following her father's death, Franklin released her first platinum-certified record. 1985's Who's Zoomin' Who mixed several genres and produced numerous hits that were accompanied by popular music videos. The next year, her Aretha album generated her first #1 single on the Hot 100 since Respect, a duet with George Michael called I Knew You Were Waiting for Me. In 1987, Aretha Franklin became the first woman inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That same year, she released a gospel album, One Lord, One Faith, One Baptism. But by 1989, she had returned to the world of pop with Through the Storm. It was a commercial disappointment though, as was the jack swing-oriented record, What You See Is What You Sweat. Nevertheless, Franklin contributed to several movie soundtracks in the early 90s and had 2 hits with Babyface. Franklin then ventured into the realm of urban contemporary music with her 1998 effort, A Rose is Still a Rose, which yielded a hit with the title track. That same year, at the 40th Grammy Awards, Franklin made an improvised performance on behalf of Luciano Pavarotti, who was unable to attend due to illness. Her next album would only surface in 2003. So Damn Happy sold poorly, though one of its songs, Wonderful, won Franklin another Grammy. Next up was a 2007 duets album called Jewels in the Crown, all-star duets with the Queen, followed by her first holiday record, 2008's This Christmas, Aretha. In 2009, Franklin sang My Country 'Tis of Thee at the inauguration ceremony of U.S. President Barack Obama. Though she continued working on new material, Franklin had to put making music on hold at the end of 2010 due to a sudden illness. However, she was soon back on her feet, and in 2011 she released the album A Woman Falling Out of Love on her label Aretha's Records. Aretha Franklin is a one-of-a-kind artist who has more than well-deserved the recognition she has received. With her powerful, soulful voice and rich discography, she has been revered by countless musicians and will surely continue to be for a long, long time.
Okay, very, very interesting. And it sounds like it was a very jam-packed career. Hit songs that speak to us and will for years to come. Respect. They didn't mention, but one was my favorite, Rocking Chair. Think, that we will see later on. Yeah, so many. From the time that she was 14 until her death, she was making music history. Very, very amazing, amazing woman here. Okay, everyone has a story. So does the Queen of Soul. If you will look at your template, we're going to do exactly what I said. We are going to do some star reading. We're going to look at some significant details. This time, you've seen her biography. Now we're going to read about her biography. The phenomenal career and phenomenal success she had in the music industry. Let's read this little article and then we'll answer some questions. Aretha Louise Franklin. She was born March 25th, 1942, and as we know, died August the 16th, 2018. Was an American singer and songwriter. She began her career as a child, singing gospel at New Bethel Baptist Church in Detroit, where her father, C.L. Franklin, was a minister. In 1960, at the age of 18, she embarked on a secular career, recording for Columbia Records, but achieving only modest success. After signing to Atlantic Records in 1967, Franklin achieved commercial acclaim and success with such songs as Respect, You Make Me Feel Like, A Natural Woman, Spanish Harlem, Think. By the end of the 1960s, she was being called the Queen of Soul. Franklin recorded acclaimed albums such as I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You, Lady Soul, Young, Gifted, and Black, and Amazing Grace before experiencing problems with her record company by the mid 1970s after her father was okay. She found success with the albums Jump 2 in 1982 and Who's Zooming Who in 1985, and her part in the 1980 film The Blues Brothers. In 1998, Franklin received international acclaim for singing the opera aria Nessun Dorma at the Grammy Awards, as we saw in the video. Luciano Pavarotti was sick and was unable to attend. Later that year, she scored her final top 40 song with A Rose is Still a Rose. Franklin recorded 112 charted singles on Billboard, including 77 Hot 100 entries, 17 top 10 pop singles, 100 R&B entries, and 20 number one R&B singles, becoming the most charted female artist in the chart's history. Franklin's other well-known hits include Rocksteady, Jump to It, Freeway of Love, Who's Zooming Who, Chain of Fools, Until You Come Back to Me. That's what I'm going to do. Something He Can Feel, I Knew You Were Waiting, with George Michael, and a remake of the Rolling Stones' Jumpin' Jack Flash. She won 18 Grammy Awards and is one of the best-selling musical artists of all time, having sold over 75 million records worldwide. Franklin received numerous honors throughout her career, including a 1987 induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, in which she became the first female performer to be inducted. She was inducted to the UK Music Hall of Fame, GMA Gospel Music Hall of Fame. Franklin is listed in at least 2 all-time lists on Rolling Stone magazine, including the 100 greatest artists of all time and the 100 greatest singers of all time. Sir Elton John led the tributes on his Instagram account, writing, "The loss of Aretha Franklin is a blow for everybody who loves real music. Music from the heart, the soul, and the church. Her voice was unique. Her piano playing underrated. I adored her and worshiped her talent. God bless her. My condolences to her family and friends." Hey, excuse me, we've got a few questions that deal with some significant details here. How did she begin her singing career? Well, we know that she first started singing in her father's church. But when she was 18, she began her secular career recording for Columbia Records. What did her father do? Well, as we said, it was her father's church. He was the pastor at New Bethel Baptist Church in Detroit. And her father, C.L. Franklin, was the minister there. How did she start the secular career? Well, as we said, she signed on with Columbia Records in 1960, but only had modest success. So 7 years later, she signed to Atlantic Records and then had incredible success. Why was she called the Queen of Soul? Well, that's very, very definite. She had so many rhythm and blues, platinum records. I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You, Lady Soul, Young, Gifted, and Black, Amazing Grace. So many of them that, yeah, Who's Zooming Who? Her voice was so incredible that, yeah, she was rightly called the Queen of Soul. How many charted singles on Billboard did Franklin record? Well, we're told that she recorded 112 charted singles on the Billboard, including 77 Hot 100 entries, 17 top 10 pop singles, and 100 R&B entries, and 20 number one R&B singles. Pretty incredible, pretty phenomenal career. But she did this because she had a dream. She made that dream her reality. She started as a small child singing at her father's church and ended up one of the greatest singers of all time. I want you to think, what dreams do you have? How do you plan to share your dream as she shared hers? We know we have heard so many times, Dr. Martin Luther King, I have a dream. Well, definitely Aretha Franklin had a dream as well. Okay, we're going to look at writing a 5-paragraph essay describing how you too can share the dream that was started by so many African Americans in the last century. Okay, if we're going to write, it always helps to use a graphic organizer to help us brainstorm. Let's look at a student essay and see how this student used these materials to write a very good essay on his dream. The introduction should contain the thesis statement, and we've looked at a thesis statement, the main idea of the essay. 3 body paragraphs should support the thesis, and the conclusion should summarize the arguments and kind of restate the thesis. Let's look at how he organized his essay. What was his thesis statement? Dreams can be powerful. And he'll have that in his introductory paragraph. His first support paragraph he uses an example of someone whose dreams changed his world and our world, Walt Disney. Dreams changed the world, and he talks about people, Walt Disney and Thomas Edison, who had dreams that changed the world in which they lived. And then his own personal dream, he concludes his essay with. Then his conclusion. He evaluates what his dream has meant to him. Let's look at his essay. A dream can be very powerful. It can make you strive and persevere past what people expect of you, and sometimes even past what you expect of yourself. A dream may be started off small, but dreams have been known to do many big things, from changing the life of one individual to changing the entire world. I believe that everyone should dream big and constantly change that dream throughout life, even if someone says that there is no chance at getting past the front door. Walt Disney, a man of dreams, once said, all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Some criticized him and laughed at the magnitude of what he believed he could achieve. However, Walt Disney was able to change the face of the world by disregarding comments about how his dream was impossible. His dream may not have turned out the same way he thought it would, but by simply chasing a dream, he was able to achieve unimaginable things for himself and for so many others. Dreams can be the cause of change across the world. The simple dream to create a light bulb seemed impossible, but Thomas Edison's dedication made this possible. Thomas Edison and Walt Disney may be huge names in history now, but they started off as just 2 normal people chasing dreams. In fact, Thomas Edison started out a lot like me, a below average student who was expected to achieve very little, if anything at all. In first grade, I realized how below average I really was. Most of the other students were already reading. I was not only reading a lot slower than the other students, I was nearly illiterate. Secretly, my teacher told my parents that I would never be able to keep up with my peers. I was then put in the special kids class, separated from my friends. I was treated like I was stupid. At this point, I distinctly remember forming my dream of reading like the others. The dream stuck, and I chased it. I had to work harder and longer than the other kids and still struggled. I would arrive early for school to work with a special teacher and stayed after school to work with another. I even had to go to a tutor in the summer. I slowly began to improve until about fifth grade, when I was nearly equivalent with the other students' reading level. This dream may not have changed the world, but it did change my life. As I look back, I realize how powerful just one dream truly was, and how it pushed me to achieve more than ever thought possible. I believe everyone should have dreams to chase. For even if you fall short of the place you'd like to be, take a moment, look behind, and see how far you've come. Dreams can to push you to reach heights that you've only imagined. Okay, powerful. And this student shares something very personal, an experience he had that he overcame. And he might have simply been dyslexic, but it almost ended uh, his dream of having a good education. Okay, yeah, demonstration of learning. And you will find in your template or in your handout a copy of the um, graphic organizer, and you can edit that organizer and do some brainstorming. While we're working, we will look at this all but hilarious clip from the Blues Brothers and see what a good actress Aretha Franklin was. Not just a fabulous singer, but was a great performer.
You better think about what you're saying. You better think about the consequences of your actions.
Oh, shut up, woman.
You better think about what you're trying to do to me. Yeah, think that you might gonna let yourself be free. Let's go back, let's go way on the back way. I didn't even know you couldn't have been too much more to take. I ain't no psychiatrist, I ain't no doctor with degrees. It don't take too much IQ to see what you're doing to me. You better think about what you're trying to do to me. I don't think that you might go let yourself be free. Oh, free. things I don't. Hey, think about what you're trying to do to me. Think that your man gonna let you be free. You need me, and I need you. Without each other, ain't nothing we can do. Yeah, think about it, baby. To the bone now. Think about it, baby. Yeah, right now. The deepness.
All right. All right. Well, I just guess he heard that. We're going to let you complete your essay. And if you will turn that into me, I believe there is going to be a due date on this. We'll give you about a week to write your essay. What are your dreams? And we can see that Aretha Franklin definitely achieved hers. Yeah, very, very, very interesting, biography here of Aretha Franklin. And she contributed so much. But yeah, what is your contribution? What are your dreams? Let's go ahead, let's complete that essay, and let's plan for that STAAR test. I'm sure that for some of you, the dream is to pass the test. Thank you for letting me share today.